So, hello everybody. Today I'm joined by Lisa. Lisa, thank you so much for taking some time today. Do you want to do a quick intro of who you are and what you do?
Yep, hi there. Thanks for having me on today. My name is Lisa Wynn, and I am a holistic health coach and breathwork practitioner. And I work with overwhelmed and stressed midlifers, and I help them find calm and balance through coaching and breathwork. So, yeah, that's
Cool.
me.
Amazing. Thank you for joining me, Lisa. So, to give everyone a little bit of context, me and Lisa have been working together. I think we're just at the 3 month mark now. The time's
Yeah.
flown by.
Yeah, is it really? Wow.
Yeah, it has gone very fast. But yeah, I just thought we'd get Lisa on, do a little interview with her. She's been doing very well, made a lot of progress. So, yeah, I mean, Lisa, do you want to kick us off and just let everybody know before we started working together, before you joined the Coaching Evolution, what were like the main primary frustrations that you wanted help with overcoming in your business?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I think one of the biggest problem for me is lead generation. And I do some quite good networking in terms of businesses and things like putting out what I would consider as quite good or good enough content on Instagram, but actually it was really getting good leads and conversations happening within my social media platform. That was the bit that I was really struggling with. Um, and for me, it was sort of almost knowing once somebody actually started talking to me, what I would then say to them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a common thing as well. So like for you at that it was April when we first spoke. So what was your like general feeling in at that point around lead generation, sales, getting clients, marketing, all of that? What was your feeling around it?
I was feeling really frustrated actually. Frustrated because I know, not being really big-headed, I know that I'm a good coach and I know that when I actually start working with people, I know that I can help them. And it was frustrating because once I actually get the good, the client that actually is my niche client, once we start working together, it's really positive. But it was that initial, yeah, having those conversations, knowing what to say, and sort of feeling a little bit inadequate in asking the right questions. And it's been really clear to me that you can ask a question slightly differently and it closes the conversation down. And so it's actually really tuning in those conversations properly, that I found really helpful. But frustration was the biggest thing, really
Yeah.
frustrated. And also that had an impact on the way that I felt, because I wasn't generating the income that I know that I can generate through my business. So
Yeah.
it was frustration tied with, like, oh gosh, what, when's the next client coming? Even when's the next lead coming? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's such a common topic, like, and that's why I'm very particular. I want to work with great coaches like yourself as well. But that is such a common theme of I know I'm good at what I do, but how the hell do I get the people
Yeah.
to show that so I can get that? So what had you tried before working with
Mm.
me, and what was your sort of experience with that like?
Oh, I feel like I've tried lots of things. So I've worked with a business coach, and
Okay.
actually that was super helpful. That was a couple of years ago, actually, and then I touched base with her a year ago, and we've done some business coaching. So I think when I started with you, I understood my niche, and we then tweaked it just that little bit further.
Yeah.
So I'd already got to that point where I knew who I wanted to work with. Um, and so that was really helpful a year ago, but that didn't necessarily lead me to new business because at the time it was about really solidifying who I wanted to work with, what I was offering them and things like that. And so we fine-tuned that.
Yeah.
But it didn't, at the time, it didn't help me get more leads in. It made me feel more solid in what I was doing. I also, a long time ago, did something else, which was around, follower content, getting more followers, having conversations with them. And I worked with that person for a period of time. He's a social media kind of like guru, I suppose. Again, helpful, but it wasn't in detail enough to get me. I didn't have direct access to him either. So I had, I had weekly
Right.
calls, but it was group calls. Whereas with the work that we're doing, what's super helpful is when you're in a conversation with somebody, is that you've got this instant, oh, they've said this, what do I need to say? So
Yeah.
that has been the game changer for me is having this really great, helpful dialogue frequently.
Nice. Cool. And so for you then, what initially made you go ahead and take the decision to work with us?
Um, if I said it was my gut instinct, I think
Okay, no,
people would
that's
I think people would go, "Oh, okay." But for me, I really listened to my gut actually in the conversation that we had, really all the problems that I had, you were kind of like, oh well, yeah, well I that's that it was like you knew exactly what I was going to say before I even said it because clearly I'm like your ideal client,
yeah.
which has actually really showed itself in the first call that I had with the first person that I started talking to, who then booked the call, who then went on to signing up with me because I was talking exactly to her problem, which is what you were doing. So I think you
Yeah.
can see that as a reflection. But yeah, it was my gut instinct. I was always the only hesitation that I had was financially, which I think is the case when you're on this cusp as a coach. Like that was genuinely my worry. I've got to, I'm continuing to invest in myself. Is that going to pay off for me financially? Because I'm in that place in my business. However, I would say the skills that I've learned and already, and even the first client that I've had has been worth its weight in gold. So yeah.
Oh, cool. And so when you signed up with us, like in your head, what was you like, okay, this is what I want to take out of this. This is what I want to achieve from working with Alexi and Evolut and stuff.
Yeah, so my I think I remember saying to you something about, oh, I worked with this coach previously, and I'd said to her, I want return of investment. I just said
Yeah.
to you, I remember saying that to you. I was like, so can you guarantee that? I don't know my exact words, but I said to you, I've worked with other people before, and some of it's about not it wasn't necessarily about building my income, but clearly there is always that if you're in business. I love what I do, but I'm not doing it for fun necessarily,
Yeah.
solely. And so I think I said to you, really I want to be able to say that, given the investment is that I want to be able to see over time that that is worth it. And I feel like I feel like in this point so far that the time that you've spent with me and the guidance that you've given me is really worthwhile.
Cool. And so I guess the most exciting part, what sort of results have you seen so far from working together?
Yeah, I mean, so I feel like having slogged away at my Instagram profile for the last 2 years and seen like one new follower and X, Y, and Z a month, is that actually the with the running the ads, I'm getting the right followers. I'm getting the
Yeah.
right followers. I'm getting consistently new followers that I can then have better conversations with. So I've had, I think it's over 200. I'm going to say that new
Yeah.
within a short period of time, not like 2 years, but within a short period of time, new followers that are the right followers. And I've also booked two calls, one of which was last week, who signed up with me, which was amazing. Really
Amazing.
pleased with that. It was really good. And like celebrate those wins. Yes. Really pleased with that. And I start working with her very quickly next week. And then actually conversation that I'd had already with somebody else prior to starting with Alexi. You helped me also, you coached me in actually, right, these could be the next steps to getting this person from doing an audit with me actually into a more long-term client, which has happened. So that's
Nice.
also. And also, I've got a call booked next week. But I think the other thing that's been a reflection for me in this time is that the momentum is helping with all of the other things that I'm doing. I decided that I was going to run a retreat day in October, which I had already decided. There was somebody that I'd met. She's also a practitioner, And I was like, right, let's, with this momentum that I've got, let's just do this. So we created a waiting list and it sold out within a day. So, like, I'm feeling that working with somebody is not only helping, with the work that we're doing, but is also helping me with that momentum in my other things that I've got going on. So yeah, really good
Yeah.
stuff.
No, cool. It's cool, and it's been a cool turnaround to watch. Like you said, the leads are flying through the door. What the ad's been up about 2 weeks,
Yeah.
roughly. Like you said, just over 200 leads, two calls, a sale already. So no, it's really really positive, and it's really fulfilling for me to watch that as well. Knowing, like you said, the frustration with lead gen at the start
Yeah.
to now. So it's really good, and obviously you've put in the work and you followed the steps to make that happen. So hats off to you as well. But no, very well done. And so for you, what's been the impact on you personally to get to that point or have that more confidence and clarity in the leads and things? How's that
Mm.
made you feel?
I think as a business owner, it gives you the confidence in your own business. I think when you're not getting when you're not getting leads in or creating new business, it can create, not for everybody, but for me, it was certainly creating this feeling of self-doubt.
Yeah,
Have I got the right niche? Am I talking to the right people? Am I even a good coach? Like there's that
yeah,
point of view that you feel like a little bit lost in your business. I did definitely feel a bit lost in like, oh my God, I chose to come out of the corporate world a while ago now, and so there's always been this moment uh within my running my own business every few months, every 6 months, say that there's this like seed of doubt, am I doing the right thing? But actually in this moment 100% there is no doubt that I'm doing what I should be doing, and it's finding the right people to help grow your business at the right time, and I definitely think that you have been that person for me right now, so I'm really appreciative of that.
oh, amazing. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. And yeah, yeah, I think that's a common thing. I think anyone, if you weren't getting the leads or the opportunities to sell, like, yeah, you do have that doubt creep in because obviously, no matter how good you are at what you do, if nobody's buying, then it's going to cause that sort of thought process in your head. But yeah, again, well, hats off to you for persevering, following the steps, and like I said, 2 weeks of ads, already got a high ticket sale, and yeah,
Mm.
like I said, generally just the beginning. So yeah, personally for me, like I've really enjoyed working with you. You've been very easy to work with. You've followed the steps, and you've got out of it what you wanted so far because of that. So it's been a pleasure. For you, what's been your favorite part of working together?
I think it's the accountability actually, and funnily, although I'm not always good at this, is the consistency, and I talk about that in my own health and well-being coaching and breath work. Is there's got to be some consistency, and I love the tracker. I just love the fact that I've got a timer set for the evening where if I'm not at my computer exactly, or I can't be at my computer, I send a note to myself, I take a screenshot, and but I daily am making this commitment to my business, whether it's a Saturday or Sunday even, to be consistently engaged. And I feel like it takes away the guesswork. So it's taken away me guessing about how many people have followed me or what's the conversion. And actually, just now we've had a check-in, a weekly check-in, and I'm saying to you, oh, what about I felt like there was a dip the other day in my, follow account, and you can see it. You can see whether there is or there isn't. And we look back at the stats and there isn't. So it's just me, feeling that.
Yeah,
So there is this real solid kind of statistical information that really helps with how your ads are performing, and actually with your experience you're going, no, actually you're doing all right with the spend that you've got going on, that's what you'd expect. I've got no idea, but I know over time I'll learn that that's the right way to think about it. So yeah, I
yeah.
really enjoy that consistency and accountability. So yeah.
Cool, nice. And I guess for you, what were the main differences from the other things that you've done? What did you
Mm.
like compared to the other things that you've done before?
I mean, I really like, so because as a coach, I feel like I'm coachable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not everybody is coachable, I don't think. Well, maybe they are, but I've experienced times where so I like to learn. I'm always ready to learn new stuff from somebody else, whether it's being mentored or coached or reflecting on where I'm at. And so I feel like for me, what's been really useful is that I have been willing to learn. Like,
Mm.
I want to change what I'm doing for my business. I don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again because otherwise, at the moment or previously, it wasn't working. So now I know that there is a formula. I just need to stick to that. And I think what didn't work so well with my, and they all had their benefits, by the way, but
Yeah.
what didn't work for me was that I did have a process to follow, but there wasn't that consistency and accountability. And I'm sure if I'd gone to them and said, "What about this conversation that I've having?" I wasn't necessarily getting those conversations coming in the quantity that we are in order to practice.
Mm. Yeah.
So I feel like because I'm been getting lots of conversations, lots of new leads, is I'm actually able to practice that conversation.
Mm. Yeah, no, definitely. And so I guess a good question for you then, I think you sort of touched on it earlier, but I think this is a common one that a lot of people face is like when we initially had that chat, did you have any like particular hesitations before joining us or concerns maybe?
Um, yeah, I suppose there was because, as I said to you before, I worked with this other coach that I wanted to get a return of investment, which I didn't feel pound for pound that I necessarily got. I did improve, I did, experience some uplift in what I was doing. Um, but I think my experience now is that I've grown in the way that I'm thinking about stuff differently, and there is a difference in that my hesitation was around spending more money on the growth of my business and the worry about whether or not I would see that back. But I feel like within turning the ad on. So once we reorganized and realigned my Instagram page, and even that in seeing it looking different and sounding different, is as soon as we turn the ad on, I was like, right, this is when it starts now, really. But
Yeah.
actually all the work before doing that is probably as important, if not more.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. That is that foundation, that groundwork. Yeah, it's been important. As you can see, it's
Yeah,
paid off. So
yeah,
no, it's good. And yeah, it's exciting when you turn the ads on. It feels like it's just like fuel to fire essentially
yeah,
because yeah, a lot of coaches don't do it and they don't have the eyes on them and they don't get the exposure they deserve. So, as you've seen, just by turning the ads on, you're getting what minimum of 10, 15 new leads a
yeah,
day, getting the
yeah,
opportunities now. So, no, it's exciting. And again,
yeah.
2 weeks into, we've already made a sale, more calls come in, like just the beginning. So, it's really exciting stuff. So, I guess just to wrap this up, then, Lisa, again, appreciate you taking the time to do this. Who would you recommend us to and why?
So I would say that any coach that has already kind of, I'm going to say, not established, but knows who they're talking to.
Yeah.
So I have clients in mind. When I'm thinking about my ideal client, I'm already there. I know who I'm talking to. I'm not a newly qualified coach. I've been running my business for a little while now. And I think when you ask me about drawing from my experience, it's like, oh, that person, that problem, da da da. So I'd say the person that needs that would work well with is somebody that's got a bunch of clients under their belt already. Somebody um that's maybe, so I have used Facebook ads and Instagram ads before, which was great because I think I already sort of knew what we were doing. But
Mhm.
actually, in hindsight, I hadn't optimized my page first when I did that. So I feel like somebody, if you don't need to know about Instagram or Facebook ads, so you don't have to. I feel like it helped a little bit that I knew what I'd already done a little bit of that. Somebody that wants to generate good quality leads. I can see from the people that I'm talking to that the messaging that I'm putting out there, I'm talking now to the right people. So yeah, knowing your audience, I think, is key. And somebody that is willing to be consistent. I think that is the key thing. If you think that you can dip in and dip out and dip in and dip out, I don't think you're going to get what you need necessarily. It's like going, I'm in this. I am literally going for this. And I said that to you
Yeah.
as well. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm ready to go for this. Come on. Like you gotta have that hunger to take your business to the next level. And that's how I feel that I am.
Yeah. Well, you summarized it perfectly, to be fair. That is, well, I guess you are my target avatar, so that makes sense why. But yeah, you summarized it perfectly. But yeah, Lisa, again, thank you so much for taking some time to join me today. It's been a pleasure working with you, and we've still got plenty of time left together, so I'm excited to see what we can do over the coming months as well. But for anybody watching this, if you want to learn a little bit more about the process that Lisa's referring to and how I've been able to help her, there'll be a link in the description. But again, Lisa, thank you for your time and looking forward to our continued partnership.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers.